Supposing I'd broken down, wept. Supposing I'd opened my heart to you and said that I have no wish to die, that I am frightened and in despair. Well, I can't believe you would have welcomed such a disclosure. I feel sure you would have found it distressing, embarrassing, somewhat inconsiderate. And so, having regard for your feelings as well as my own, it would seem to be both correct and appropriate for me to moderate my response.
Are you dying?
Similarly, or so it seems to me. When you reveal the nature of your sexuality, you cannot afford to ignore the effect you're having on other people. Fear, for example, when people are asked to accept something they do not understand. Or anger, when what you so unashamedly reveal is contrary to everything they've ever believed in. And pain. Bound to cause a lot of pain. Not yourself necessarily, that's your affair anyway, but to people who are close to you. Anyone who's fond of you. Pain, real pain. Well, I think perhaps I will have a drink after all. You sure I can't persuade you?
No, thank you.
Your friend Wittgenstein once wrote something that impressed me deeply. I sat down there with a book in my hand and memorized what he'd written. This is what he said. We feel that even when all possible scientific questions have been answered, the problems of life remain completely unanswered.
Who is it?
It's me.
Alan, my dear. You are so silly. Why didn't you tell me you were coming down?
Well, I wasn't sure I'd be able to make it. I didn't want to disappoint you.
Well, it's a wonderful surprise. I'm delighted. Just look at that dreadful old jacket. I do wish you'd take more care of yourself. Now, how long can you stay? Don't tell me you've got to go rushing off tomorrow morning.
Well, yes, I may have to.
Well, never mind. We won't think about that. I've had the spare room completely redecorated. Lovely curtains, Liberty print.
Mother, listen, I've got something to tell you.
Something nice?
No, I'm afraid not.
No, you wouldn't have come all this way to tell me anything nice. What is it?
Well, I'm in trouble.
What sort of trouble?
Serious trouble.
Tell me.
Well, it's so difficult to explain.
Is it something to do with money?
Well, no. Look, you know I've never been very interested in women.
Well, people of your sort seldom are.
My sort? What do you mean, my sort?
People who spend their lives with their heads buried in books.
Well, it has nothing to do with that.
What then?
I have no sexual feelings for women.
Well, that's probably just as well. People seem to be getting divorced at such a rate these days.
Mother, will you please listen? Will you please try to understand?
I'm doing my best.
The police have discovered that I'm having an affair with a man.
A man?
Yes. I'm sorry. There is no other way to tell you.
Do you mean a Nancy boy? Will it be in the papers?
I don't know. Perhaps.
Thank God, your father isn't alive. He was so proud of you. Have you always, I mean, have you always been like this?
Yes.
Always?
Yes.
But what about that girl you were engaged to? What was her name? Pat?
Mother, I was never engaged to her.
I thought you loved her.
I was fond of her. Yes, I loved her as a friend.
What's going to happen?
There'll be a trial.
They're sending you to court.
Yes.
Well, will you go to prison?
Possibly.
How did the police find out? Did they catch you? Did they find you with this man?
I told them.
Why? Why?
Sorry.
Oh, Alan. How could you bear to touch a man like that? How could you do such a thing? Will it affect your career?
I suppose so.
How?
I don't know.
What can I do to help?
Well, nothing.
Well, there must be something I can do. Let me, please. You look so helpless.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Do you remember when you were at the Hazelhurst? You must have been about 10 or 11. We'd all been to Scotland for the summer holidays. Do you remember?
Loch Inver.
Daddy went trout fishing. I sketched. We went for picnic teas in the heather. And then we had to go back to India. You had to go back to school. Back to Hazelhurst.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes, of course I remember.
We took a taxi to the school. And as we drove away, you tried to run after us. You ran along the drive after the taxi. Your arms were flung wide. Your mouth was open. You were saying something, shouting something, but I couldn't hear what it was. There were some shrubs by the school gates. Rhododendrons, I think. It was like a great green curtain being pulled across in front of my eyes. The shrubs hid you from my sight. I couldn't see you anymore. For a moment, I felt quite breathless with panic. I wanted to jump out of the taxi and run back and hold you in my arms forever.
I had no idea you felt like that.
About 9 p.m, Mr. Turing went out of the room to make a phone call. He left his jacket on the arm of a chair and I knocked off £8 out of it. After a while, he came back to the kitchen again. He leaned over me, put his head on my shoulder and pulled my hand between his legs. I wanked him again, but he never touched me. I didn't do this for my own benefit sexually, but I heard that you could get paid for it. I'll never do it again if I'm given a chance. I know that it's wrong.
Okay, Miller, sign here.
Just tea. Tea and cakes.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Prof.
It's good to see you too.
Thank you for writing to me.
Well, I wanted you to know what had happened, and I wanted you to hear it from me and not, you know, second-hand.
Thank you.
Oh, it was in the Sunday papers. One headline said, accused had powerful brain. So it could have been worse, I suppose. But their use of the past tense rather worried me.
I've thought about you a lot. It must have been awful.
No, actually, no. It wasn't as bad as I'd feared. They, put me in cells during the trial, and being behind bars was by no means disagreeable. There was a wonderful absence of responsibility. It's rather like being back at school.
Did you think that they were going to put you into prison?
No, not really. No, I was a first offender after all. There's a laugh. First offender. No, I thought they most probably put me on probation. They're giving me drugs.
Who are?
They're giving me estrogen. Female sex hormones. It's supposed to kill male sexual interest, but it's only for a year. And after that, everything returns to normal. We hope.
That's dreadful. Couldn't you refuse?
No. I'm obliged to do it. No, they put me on probation, provided that I agreed to the drug treatment. I'm growing breasts.
Oh, Helen.
And nobody seems to know whether or not they'll disappear when I stop taking the drugs. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
God, how dreadful.
The embarrassment factor is high. Keep wondering if I'll have to wear a bra.
How did your mother take it?
Yes, I dreaded telling her. Absolutely dreaded it. As it happens, she was wonderful. Remarkable. It seems to have drawn us closer together.
I'm glad.
Yes, so am I.
What happened to the boy?
The boy, oh, he was conditionally discharged. He works in London, I think. I don't know, I never see him.
Oh,
Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
thank you.
So, you're married?
Yes,
No job?
just a housewife.
Are you happy?
Yes. Well, I suppose so. Don't really think about it very much.
Well, that means you are.
I do hope you're not too unhappy.
I'm not unhappy at all. I have some very good friends. I had a very jolly holiday. Norway.
Oh, wait.
No legal problems in Norway. I was told that there were places there where they held dances for men only. It's not true, unfortunately. But I did meet the most charming young man called Kel. As a matter of fact, he wrote to me last week. Wants to come and stay. A few days, chez moi. Obviously, I made a good impression.